Hey, welcome to the iPad App First Look channel, and today instead of an app that we're going to look at, we're actually going to look at something that is that I just received a week ago, which is the iPhone 5, and it's over here. And this was my iPhone 4, my iPhone 3GS, and which gave me 3 years of loyal services. And still works quite well, but it's really getting slow. I know there's a lot of reviews on the web about iPhones. I thought that we would actually just, have my point of view, because I've had enough for a week. And if you're looking into another phone, and maybe you're looking at an iPhone 5, well, this is going to be a little bit my little review of what I think of the iPhone 5 and what's the good, what's the bad. So of course I made a big jump by going from the 3GS to the iPhone 5. I really kind of jumped across a great barrier. And first things first, yes, the iPhone 5 is so much more powerful than the iPhone 3GS, and it really shows. Even though the iPhone 3GS is an okay phone, the fact that this one has a much faster processor in the iPhone 5, it really shows off. Everything you do is much faster. Waiting time for applications to load is so much better. Instead of waiting for a million years, well, you've got the possibility to really have fast-paced applications here. Physically, it's thinner. So here's the iPhone 5, the iPhone 3GS over here. So you can see there's a difference in it's much thinner. For the size, it's basically slightly longer. You can see here, if I put them really next to each other, you can see there's almost an inch, I would say, difference between both phones. And the screen size is bigger. If you've got an iPhone 4, the phone size is about the same, but the screen is slightly bigger than the iPhone 4 and 4S. They've increased the screen to a 4-inch screen. So there's slightly more viewing space. Of course, this is a Retina display. And at first I wasn't amazed. I was like, what's the use of having so many pixels on your screen? But I must say that the screen on the iPhone 5 is much more beautiful than the one on the iPhone 3GS. Really, there was an improvement there, improvement in the quality. And of course, because it has Retina display, the iPhone 5 really needs a graphics processor that is much more, has much more performance, because it has so many more pixels to actually put on the screen. The iPhone 3GS that I have here was a 3G phone, so it was on the 3G network on Fido here in Canada, which is basically Rogers. And speed tests on the network on Fido of 3G was about, at the best, about 3 megabits down, and a few hundred kilobits up. My iPhone 5 is now on the LTE network, and the LTE network is basically kind of a 4G type network, LTE meaning long-term evolution network. And it's much faster on the web, and actually it's been, depending on where I was in the city, it sometimes falls to 3G, it sometimes goes back to LTE. And I must say that when I'm on 3G, I can see the difference. It's really slower in asking for the data and the information. So when it switches from back and forth from 3G to LTE, you really see the difference. The iPhone 5 is comes in what's called anodized aluminum, and it's very, very beautiful, very slick. One of the problems that a lot of people are complaining about is the fact that the phone gets scratched easily, and that the black anodized aluminum actually wears off quite fast, and basically you get a phone that's really aluminum color, silver aluminum. And one way to actually fix that is to really buy a protective cover. So that's probably the best thing to do if you want to keep your phone. And I think it's, anyways, the good thing to do on any type of phones. Well, of course, it has a glass screen in front, so you don't want to drop it. And that's another reason why you might invest in a good protective phone cover, protective casing, something like rubberized casing, so that if it falls down, it doesn't fall flat on the screen, or it will actually, you know, be less prone to damage. So I think investing in a good case is really, really something worthwhile. Some of the nice features of the iPhone, of course, is the fact that it has a back camera. It also has a front camera, and the fact that it has a really, really nice little flash that's quite nice, and I must say that in most cases works extremely well in making pictures. For example, here, if I take a little picture of a this is my workbench, which looks a lot more like a random shelf. This is no flash, so it's pretty cool, it's pretty nice. And in very dark places I've took some nice pictures with the flash. It's not the best. I see better results with my Canon camera, but if you keep in mind that you'll have your phone always with you, and you'll probably take much more pictures with your phone than you'll do with your camera. Let's face it, it's still quite a good camera. Of course, supports video recording, which is pretty nice, quite rapid. So if I put it in video mode here and start recording, it's pretty amazing. Quality of the images are quite good. Records in basic HD, which is 720p. It's okay for most uses and most applications. It's fast enough that you can have a real FaceTime HD conversation with a friend, or even I've done a few conferences with Skype actually on the LTE network, and it was working really well, and everybody was telling me that connection was rock solid and pretty good. So it's a cool phone. It of course has iOS 6. Let's just check it here, general information, and it has iOS, as you see here, this is the 16 gig version, iOS version 6.1.3. so this is the latest version of the iOS, and of course iOS 7 will come out probably sometime this summer, and will be available for, of course, iPhone 5. No word yet if iOS 7 will be available for iPhone 4. It might be for the 4S, maybe not the 4. We don't know yet about that. Lots of people had lots of problem with iOS 6, battery drainage, overheating of the phone, stuff like that. I haven't had any problem at 6.1.3. Of course, the first thing I did when I had my phone is actually get the update so that I'm in the latest version. What's cool in iOS 6 is the fact that you don't need a computer anymore to start your phone, and you don't need a computer anymore to update your phone. That is really nice, because having, you know, a computer with iTunes available just for updates, I personally found that it was annoying. One of the changes in the iPhone 5 over the iPhone 3GS is the connector. This is the iPhone 3 connector. This is the new connector for the iPhone 5, and I believe it is also a connector for the iPhone 4S, but I'm not sure of that. As for performance, it's really fast. It really responds well to every command. Every time I want to do something, it you know, really responds well. And if you look at all the applications that are available, it's really nice. Has a GPS type device inside that knows where it is. It has a front and back camera, so you can switch. Of course, a very bright LED for, and I'll show you with the, I've got the flashlight application here. Very bright LED, and very useful also if you have an iPhone 5. Get yourself this application for a flashlight. It really is helpful. The major problem, but it's the problem with probably most phones, is the fact that it actually is the battery drains quite fast if you use it a lot. And so I would say that if you're like me, I'm a tech guy here in town and I use my phone all the time, and I'm always actually going around town using my iPhone as a Wi-Fi hotspot. What happens is that you barely make it through the day if you use it a lot, and I do use it a lot. As for connections and stability in connection, I found that the overall signal of the network is not as good. I find that on the 3GS it seems to have a little more difficulty connecting to the network. It connects, but you know, it's rarely full bars here for my signal. Has Wi-Fi and LTE. Another little drawback, but it could be the network, so you know, it would need to be tested on different areas and different networks, is the fact that it often switches from LTE to 3G, which is annoying because you don't want to be in 3G once you've actually tasted LTE. Basically, if you're just a casual user, a little texting here and there, a few applications, you'll make it through the day with the battery, no problem. But if you are, like me, a heavy phone user, lots of data, lots of phone calls, then you will probably need a way of charging your iPhone on the road. You can either bring along maybe your little cube charger, but you can also invest, and that's what I've actually bought on the web, a casing to actually put my iPhone in to protect it, but the casing has an internal battery which also charges with the same iPhone plug, so it actually doubles, and I've even seen one that says that it can even triple the battery time of your iPhone 5. So I think that could be a very good investment if you're always on the road. It's light, but I would say it's probably slightly heavier than my iPhone 3GS. It's hard to say. I would have to check at the specs, but quick like this, it is a little heavier, I think. For the rest, well, it's a great little phone, fast and really cool. It's of course a little on the expensive side, and a lot of people I know buy Android phones because they're cheaper. But there's also some great choices in the Android market, especially with the new Galaxy S4 now. I think we have really serious competition. This little video is not to actually tell you to buy the iPhone 5, it's more to tell you what I think about it. I don't have an Android phone, but I must say that I've used a few Android phones, Galaxy S3 on a few friends' Galaxy S3. I'm quite amazed at the Galaxy S3. So if I had a choice to make, well, I chose the iPhone, but I must say that the Galaxy, actually Android phones, are becoming more and more interesting, and so I think we have serious competition from Apple and Samsung and all those Android devices today. And so if you're an iPhone fan, of course you'll want to get the iPhone 5, and there are some rumors that the iPhone 5S might actually be announced somewhere in late May or something like that. So there could be an iPhone 5S quite soon. Tim Cook of Apple said that it wouldn't be before the summer, but rumors are actually saying it might be a little sooner than that. So as for the rest, well, it connects well to the my Wi-Fi network. I haven't seen any problem. Lots of people reporting that they have problems in connecting with the Wi-Fi network. I didn't have any problems. It connects well with my Wi-Fi network. I've not connected it much to other Wi-Fi networks because I tend to use much more my phone on the LTE network. So I'm not really sure if I try it on different networks what it does, but for my part here and on my home Wi-Fi network connects really well. All Bluetooth devices that I've used worked absolutely well with this phone also. And well, I think it's a great little device if you want to use an iPhone 5, and hope that this little look and review helps you in maybe choosing a phone. It's a great device. I'm really happy with it. It is great phone. It's a beautiful little design, and like all phones, you got to be careful because it is a little difficult in the usage here. It will drain the battery if you use it a lot, and you got to be careful not to scratch the back if you want to keep it nice. Really, apparently it's extremely easy to scratch, so I still don't have my first scratch, but I'm sure I'm going to have it soon. So this is the iPhone 5, and hope you enjoyed my personal look at what I think about it. If you enjoy our videos, click the subscribe button, and if you have any comments or questions on what you've seen, let us know, and we'll try to put a video online if you need help with something or need an application you'd like us to review. And ask away if you have any questions about the iPhone 5, the capabilities, what you're thinking. Maybe you're thinking of buying one, or you're unsure between the iPhone 5, maybe an Android phone. Ask away, and we'll try to answer any questions that you might have on the iPhone. So thanks for watching. Hope you come back to the iPad Apps First Look channel. Bye bye.